Welcome, everyone, and pull up a seat at the table. It's Lunchtime in Rome. Tonight's episode 243 is entitled Dealbreakers. What is it about someone that is simply a deal breaker? You know, if they do X or Y, you just cannot be friends with them. What are those things? We're talking about those at the table this evening. Pull up a seat at the table and join us. First-time listeners can subscribe on your favorite podcast app or watch us live or later at youtube.com/@lunchtimeinrome. Visit us at www.lunchtimeinrome.com. Well, there you can take our relational needs questionnaire. Make sure to follow us on all social media, and it would be great if you could give us a 5-star review. Jay, what specifically is this podcast about?
Being alone is the worst. Good times aren't as good, and bad times are worse when you're all alone. Romans 12:15 says to rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. That is how you keep people from being alone, and what this podcast is all about. We demonstrate that in the first 15 minutes of the podcast, and we talk about it for the rest. So while it may not be 12:15 in Rome, we're treating it like it is Lunchtime in Rome. Brian sounds different tonight.
You know what? Christina did a great job, but I especially liked when you embraced the Italian and you're like, oh man, what was the sentence where she added an give us a like on social media.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
It would be a great.
Yeah, yes, it would be a great if you could give us.
That's that Mara Italian blood running right through her. Yes, Christina is back with us tonight. We're so excited. She's joining us to have a little lighthearted episode tonight where we do talk about some serious things briefly that keep us from being good friends with somebody or friends. And then we get into some fun, petty things and then some judgmental things where we just judge people because they're inferior.
I like petty.
Yeah. How's Chris?
I'm good. I've had an interesting week and have a very good day.
I don't know why I swear you almost said I have ovaries.
Oh.
What?
He said I have a very nice, and I was like, ovaries?
I was trying to add some Italian. I don't know. It didn't work.
Yeah, let's not do that anymore.
No. But so I'm going to tell you 2 stories that hit me in the respect bone. I say respect bone because I'm strange. But respect is like my highest emotional need. And so today at work, I got this really nice compliment. Oh. And it's going to come off, it could, in a certain setting, come off sounding almost like I'm bragging about something that happened. But it's a chance for me to intimate with all of you at the table. Like, just, we all get compliments or hear a nice word from time to time. And, well, I want to...
You qualified it for 4 minutes.
I want to qualify. Well, it's ruined now. It's over. No,
Christina, what's up with you?
We got a new guidance counselor at my school, and because our previous one, left mid-year, and so he's been here like a couple months. And we had a meeting a couple weeks ago that was just for mostly like the specials teachers, art, music, gym, just about like a possible schedule change. I don't want to go into too much detail, but it was us and like the principal, and then the guidance counselors came in and blah, 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 just looking at scheduling stuff. And he stopped. He just saw me like standing in the office waiting to leave today. And he said, hey, I've been meaning to tell you, like that meeting we had a couple weeks ago, I just really appreciated like what you had to say in there. And honestly, I didn't know like what I was even walking into, what the meeting was. And like people were talking about stuff, and I had no idea what was going on until you spoke up and like just said things so clearly and succinctly and like made it make sense. And I'm like, that's so kind of you, to say, right? And
because he certainly didn't have to.
Right. He stopped me to say that. And then he added, he's like, and you can just tell how much respect everybody has for you because like when you started talking, everybody like got quiet and like listened and I mean, it was just like he had these really nice, meaningful things to say. And, that made me
that's great.
puff my chest a little. And it just a sort of, well, actually, first it made me like, I brushed it off like, oh, no, I'm just older than them. You know how it is. Like, I'm just the old guy at this point and blah, blah, blah. He's like, no, you really did. He doubled down on it. And it just made me feel good. So it's nice to get those things once in a while,
Did you poke him in the chest and say, don't cross me?
Yeah. Remember this forever.
This is my school.
So that's my positive respect story. My other one, my darn cat
well,
is disrespecting me.
Well, it's a cat.
So You may or may not know, depending on how avid a member a person at the table you are. We have a young cat named Joe Bell who has decided to become an outdoor cat. This week,
Some people are in charge of their cats.
no, she's a very decisive cat.
I wonder if I'm allergic to it.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we are.
Okay.
So this week she has decided.
She sit you down for a meeting.
I kind of wish we had a meeting about this before she started bringing in.
Oh no,
squirrels.
Aw.
No, I'm sorry. Excuse me, chipmunks, but live chipmunks.
live. Oh, that's great.
To like play with, to let live with us. I don't know.
Because if she brings it to you dead, it's a gift.
Right. Okay, so here's
I'm
how.
asking.
That's what they say. Yes.
Right.
So it started on Saturday morning. Amy and I are just sitting in the living room having our coffee, and there's this sort of scratching sound in the dining room. And I assume sometimes our cats, like if there's a plastic bag or something, they like to like mess with it. And I was like, oh, that's just a cat scratching on plastic or whatever. And Amy's like, no, it doesn't sound right. So she walks out, and it's just coming from this corner. And she's like, that's not a cat. There's no cat hiding behind
I
this
know
little...
what a cat looks like.
There's no cat that could fit there. And so it turns out it's a chipmunk. And we couldn't get him out of the house. Opened the door wide, like tried to shoo him towards it. He's
Two
like,
more came in.
He like turned aside, like ran under the cat. Anyway, next day, well, we named him Chippy.
Wait, let me ask you a question. You had people over on Saturday,
Oh, yeah.
and you hadn't gotten the chipmunk out.
Correct.
So he's just there now.
He's just there. Yeah. Before people came over...
You know they defecate.
Yeah, listen. This is only the beginning of the
Your little robot vac
Odyssey.
should be picking up chippy turds.
yeah.
One would hope.
So Chippy, right? And next morning, Sunday morning, I find Chippy dead, laying in my bedroom.
She finished the job.
She finished, yeah, or all three. I don't know. It was who knows with the three cats. But for a while, it's like, did you not see Chippy just run through? And the cats are like oblivious until they decided they wanted to like deal with it. So, okay, problem's over. Chippy's dead.
Chippy's dead.
Chippy 2.0.
Monday.
Dale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daily.
Monday, there's a live one again. Get it out of the house.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, I created like a barrier where I'm like, okay, either it's going to leap up over these things I have, or it's going to smartly run out the door. And it ran out the door. Whew, that one only took 5 minutes. Tuesday, Chippy number 3. Managed to get that one out of the house.
Or that might have been chippy number 2.
Right.
Could've been.
It could have been the
back
same
again.
one back again, right? Who knows what Joe Bell's bringing in, or who Joe Bell is bringing
She's
in
like, I thought I brought this one in the house.
today. Chippy number 4
Oh no.
got it out. Now we're sitting in the living room after work, like, okay, what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this? Amy turns and looks over toward the cat door because she heard a meow. And there's Joe Bell outside looking in at us through the cat door with a chipmunk in her mouth. And she could come, in at any second. But for some reason, she was standing there sort of meowing around the chipmunk toward us. So Amy went over and locked the cat door so that she couldn't get in. And
Why
a
don't
few
you
minutes
just
later...
lock her in?
Well, we could, but then she's like...
You got to get the message.
Right, we got to figure it out. We got to figure out what the right thing to do is. So, but for now, at least we can, yes, lock her in / lock her out temporarily to see if she's coming in. Sans chipmunk, which she needs to be.
When you, however, 21 years ago, how long you been married?
Yeah, 24.
24.
This summer, yeah.
When you said, I do, did you think you were saying I do to daily gifts of chipmunks from your wife's cat that's also your cat, but it's mostly your cat, her cat?
I mean, no.
No, you didn't see that coming.
No, didn't see it coming.
It's the spice of life, is it not?
It really is. It has spiced up this week.
Speaking of your gathering on Saturday and spice, I made pork carnitas for Ben's graduation.
They were good.
Little get together you had. And when it was done, I'd done it in a braising liquid for 10 hours, and I just looked at my liquid and I'm like, well, I don't throw that away. I got to do something with that. So I had, of course, in my freezer some bone broth that I had made. chicken or pork stock, basically. So for the first time ever, being smart, I took a quarter cup of the braising liquid and a quarter cup of the stock, heated it up, mixed it up, tasted it. Because normally you're like, I'll just put it all together. But then is it too much of this? Is it too much of that? And whatever else. So I ended up going like a 5-to-1 ratio stock to braising liquid.
Yeah.
Because the braising liquid was pretty just intense flavor.
Yeah.
And I made a soup and I added some hominy, which are like
that?
large corn, and poblano peppers and tomatillos and onion. And it's delightful. I think I'd like it to be better, but I don't know how. So it's good, but it was fun to make and I'm eating it. And it was actually better day 2.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I make my bone broth / pork stock and I reduce it so much that the minute it cools off, it's Jell-O. Like I'm all collagen. It's
all fat.
I mean, it's not necessarily fat. The fat comes to the top.
Okay.
It's the collagen. It's the bone. It's all the nutrients that are in it. So it's not just fat because the fat again goes to the top.
You should just eat it with a spoon.
That's gross.
I just saw a genius
I thought you meant the soup, and I was like,
Yeah, that's what you do.
I just saw a genius way of like handling grease from a pan, and you guys might know this trick, but you take a piece of aluminum foil, put it in your sink, and put it like down to make a little cup in the drain. Pour the grease in that, lift it up a little bit, run some cold water, and then it gets solid, and then you just throw it away.
All right.
I just saw this video of like they're just like a little pellet of some sort that you put it in whatever grease you have and it immediately just solidifies it.
Huh.
Like I don't know, it was like on TikTok
The
or
hell you
something.
say.
I don't know if it's real or what.
Anyway,
but
sorry. When you said
Well-
like the collagen, that reminded me of that little trick.
my move, because I normally have more grease than that. Like that would take a while for me to do it that way.
Well, it's like if you're doing like bacon, you
Right.
know, in a pan or,
Well,
you know,
who's
whatever.
not saving their bacon grease? Am I right? But I just put it in a big bowl, throw it in the fridge, and then scoop it out and throw it away. But anyhow, I mean, other than that, life's crazy. Life's great. I've realized lately, my brother read a book 15 years ago called Margin and how we don't have any margin. Financial margin, you know, you lose your job, all of a sudden you're behind.
Oh my gosh, you were talking collagen, and I heard margarine.
Oh, collagen.
No, I mean like
Oh, just
instead of
you were talking about
margin.
margins.
margin.
I thought you were talking about margarine.
Ovaries
we don't
and
have enough margarine.
Right?
Financial margarine, but you know, emotional margin, all these things. But like for me, I realized I can look at different aspects of my life where I have tons of margin. And that's even like with different people at church and different situations. Like there's a lot of grace, there's a lot of this.
Grace,
But in different activities I'm in or different organizations I help out, you know, where I'm like, nope. Like, you know, like right now the disc golf course, which trimmed the whole course today and no vandalism. So that's good.
Oh, that's great.
Because I got no margin for any more vandalism.
Yeah. Yep.
Like that's an area I'm on 0.
Has there been some recent, like this spring?
Last Friday, somebody took one of the new tee markers on the brand new hole. And I think it was a kid because like there was this big pile of dirt and he leaned it up against it, but he took it 150 feet away. So I just
Made like a
picked it up.
ramp,
Yeah, like a
right?
ramp, except
Yeah.
the dirt wouldn't have withstood any kind of pressure. So I don't know what they were doing. So I just made an anonymous post. No, I made it an exact
Maybe it
post.
was like a Matchbox card ramp.
Yeah, something like that maybe. But again, he carried it 150 feet, or she, they, and I just put a post on Facebook that said, "Dear parents and grandparents of Key and Webster Drive, please tell your child this is not a ramp. I would be more than happy to supply them with all the lumber they could need to make a different ramp." So anyhow, margins.
So Saturday, a lot going on Saturday. This past Saturday, Maggie had her
Beautiful day.
Joyful Twirlers performance in the rain. But I will tell you, man, she smiled the whole time.
Isn't it great?
It was awesome. She did
love
so
her.
good. I'm just so proud of her. It was awesome. And then so tonight she's with my parents, sleeping over there. And Amy was up at church earlier doing some things, and she came home and she was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" You know, because like we're like, you know, no kid in the house, and I was like, "Well, why don't we just go get a bite to eat?" You know. So we went to Mission Barbecue.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you been there
that's
before?
no, that's my first time, and I will say It's probably the closest I've had to like Texas barbecue up here. It was very good.
It's very good, not pricey.
No, not at all. And I appreciate that, like, they have all the sauces on the table, so you get to try all the sauces and find which one you like. But yeah, I got brisket, wet like you do. And it was delicious. We just had an uninterrupted meal. It was
How about that?
it was great. And it was just nice. It was just nice. And it was beautiful this evening. Like, rode there with the windows down. It
Wait,
was,
tonight?
yeah.
I lost track. I thought you meant Saturday.
Tonight.
So you did that tonight.
Started
Oh, beautiful
Saturday
night.
with Joyful Twirlers,
Yeah.
Maggie
Yeah.
happy, Maggie not here tonight.
There we are.
Yeah.
And Mission Barbecue. I've been there at. The place kind of makes me sad though, because it's so America.
Yeah.
And military and pride.
Oh.
And at noon, they stand up and they play the national anthem.
Yeah.
And everybody stands.
Yeah.
And you're just
Okay.
like, oh, this is the way America used to be. Like everybody's just happy and patriotic and
Yeah.
together. And it doesn't matter who's there for, that. Like you see veterans that are there, Anyhow, just it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you, Eric, go for like a tangy Carolina sauce? That is my go-to.
I like a tangy Carolina.
Like a vinegary.
I'm trying to think of the one that I landed on because I can't remember what it was called.
They don't really have one that I go, that's my sauce.
Yeah. I tried like 3 that are like, okay, these are all good. I don't like, there was one that was like, oh, this is like A1 sauce. And I'm not an A1 guy.
I judge you if you are. Oh, preview.
But I do tend to go on the sweeter side for a sauce for sure. And I do like some tang. Yeah. Yeah.
Christina. Hey, before you tell us how you're doing, quick, you're probably sitting there upset with everything because you did not come over for Ben's little graduation shindig.
I'm not upset with
And
anything.
and I wanted to explain that we kept it extremely small.
It's okay.
Super,
Everyone
super
listening's
small.
mad.
I was just going to say, there's going to be people listening who are like, well, wait, Ben had a graduation thing? We did not have a real, it was small, just, hi, Ben.
It wasn't really a
We're glad
Candace
for
party.
you.
Didn't
Not like a
even
high
cross
school
my mind.
graduation.
No, not like a high school
No.
graduation.
Yeah.
Anybody listening should not feel slighted.
Just
'cause
their
it was
close friends.
Just the,
Okay.
just our real friends,
Well, it
Christina.
didn't cross my
family.
mind until now.
No. It was, anyway.
No, it was very nice. It was very nice.
It was just for adults. Which I've been telling, giving Joe different age barometers. Like one was Joe's older now than Rachel was when I met her,
Nice.
and he nearly fainted. And he's like, I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And the other was we were at Bernice's from our church on Monday helping her move furniture and stuff like that. And he's going to go back and install a Roku for her once we buy it. But I said that Bernice is as older than me as I am older than Joe. And that was just a weird thing.
That is a weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Joe is now the age you were when I started hanging out with you having lunch down in Oakland.
Oh, my.
Right.
Isn't that something?
Which is weird because I feel like Joe and I are the
Peers.
same age. And
And you are-ish.
yeah.
Right.
But him and Julian too, even Julian's got 10 years on Joe,
Yeah.
but they're bros. They're cool.
I find that interesting because I don't you see yourself as a peer with Joe. I just find that interesting. I don't see you that way.
No?
Yeah, that's funny though. I mean, I view myself as a peer with Joe too, so who knows?
He's a very flexible young man.
yeah.
He is.
Oh, yeah. He can hang out with anybody.
I forget. I mean, it was 2 summers ago. And I said something about hanging out with my friends, meaning, you guys. And he's like, well, they're my friends too.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yes, they are, son. You have friends who are 25 years older. sorry, 20 years older. than you.
Thank you.
Yeah, whenever I first started hanging out with you guys and stuff, it was people are like, so you're hanging out with a bunch of grown adult, and I'm like,
Kind of.
yeah, I guess, but
You just got to know.
it's
And you said the
not.
oldest is the most immature. So what do I do with that? I don't even know. But I
Down
mean,
is up is down.
right. But to me, that is the future, if I may, of the church is the cross-generational influence and not just pigeonholing. But that's another time for another podcast. How's Christina?
I'm good, honestly. I'm off work at my office this week. I'm a pediatric dental hygienist, if anybody doesn't know that. My boss is actually in Disney, so we're closed for the week. But,
Shut it down.
Yeah, but I picked up a couple shifts at another office, like a general office, that I work at every couple weeks. So I'm there. I was there today, and I'm there tomorrow. But I'm done at 2 tomorrow, so that's nice.
Oh,
And
that is
Nice.
nice. Yeah.
today I was done at 3. Start at
Not bad.
first patients at 7, so it's early.
That's
but
God, oh, Bob.
So I want to, join you where you are and not just assume you feel a certain way. But you're happy about the week off.
I really thought you were
Yeah.
going to say, you're happy about being a pediatric hygienist?
Oh, kids' mouths. No, they're gross.
yeah, no, I mean,
Because, well, here, let me
Sometime- yeah.
clarify, because I wonder, like, oh, your boss goes on vacation week, so nobody can work. Like,
yeah.
Since the security
So-
drops off a little bit, I'm not going to get a paycheck this week.
She does go on a few vacations a year for like a week, which kind of sucks, but it's also like, I always think like, oh, another week off. But then whenever that week comes, I'm like counting down the days. Like
Yeah.
I'm just tired.
And do you know like a fair amount like ahead of time?
Yeah, like at least 6 months.
Oh,
because
okay. So you can plan and
yeah.
get other gigs.
So like a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of times I'll try to go on a trip like around the same time, but I mean the office that I temp at, like the general office, I can literally text them, be like, "Hey, I'm off this week," and they'll like give me whatever days I want.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I can tell them whatever I want to get paid, and because
Yeah.
they need me.
Because you're
million.
Because
Wow.
their
yeah,
next
demand. Yeah.
that office's next appointments right now are in March, so
Wow.
they're like very
Yeah.
booked
Yeah.
out. That's 10 months.
That
from.
is 10 months.
Yeah.
I was doing that
That's
in my head.
wild.
Yeah,
Wow.
but yeah, no, so it's good.
Yeah.
Good thing I was telling you guys that I started. So a couple of my friends ran the half marathon this past weekend,
Sheesh.
and just like going down there and watching them making them signs and just like looking at everybody running was just like motivational, because I'm like, not everyone is like the
A
most
runner.
fit runner, 6-pack, like
Sure. Right.
And-
you kind of get everybody coming together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like listening to even people, like some of the people weren't even cheering for specific people going by, and just like hearing them motivating everyone, like
Aw.
once you get around this bend you can see the finish, come on, pick it up. And like
That's
I was
nice.
like tearing up like just listening to it, because it's just awesome.
Well, there's so little of that in our world today.
yeah, and just like how everyone was just down there to just motivate everyone else. It was awesome, and it inspired me. I was like, my whole life, I'll do spin classes, I swim, I do all that, but I cannot run. It's like I go 30 feet and my shins hurt, my knees hurt, my ankles hurt.
Well, it's running.
But yeah,
It's the
the worst. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to become a runner.
Yeah.
So yesterday I went for my first run, and 60 seconds in, I was ready to just be done. Like, nope, I'm going to go get in the pool. I'm going to hop on a bike. I'm going to
Yeah.
do that. But I kept going 25 minutes straight, did a 1.5 miles, no stopping. Today I was going to go to the gym, and I was like, no, let me go for a run. Today, 2 miles.
There you go.
And I'm trying to, we go to our lake house in New York for the 4th of July, and they have a 3-mile and a 10K there. And I was just going to kind of aim for the 3-mile one.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, day 2, I just did 2 miles, and that's not until July. So I'm like,
You can build it up.
10K, that's 6 miles.
Yeah.
So
You can build it up by then.
And
Yeah.
you'll be ready by by Labor Day weekend, where you can enter the Young Life Donut Dash that we're putting on.
okay.
It is a 5K race, not a 10K, but a 5K.
I did 3K today, so
Right. And so you can either we're going to have like tons of donuts. So there'll be like donut competitions and like different bakeries and whatnot. So we'll just rate the best donuts. Or you can enter the race. Or if you're really cool, you enter the Donut Dash. And that is, you have a donut, you run 1K, you eat a donut, you run another K.
nope.
And so by the end, you have run a 5K and eaten 6 donuts.
No, I don't even eat donuts
Isn't that fun?
ever. So running with
it
them,
is.
no.
I mean, I'm not a runner,
No.
but that sounds like it'd put a stitch in your side.
You would think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not necessarily.
I'm in it for the donut competition.
yeah.
Well, that's just dress like a runner, and nobody will know whether you ran
Yeah.
or not. You're just like eating donuts.
Throw a little water or just normal sweat on
Yeah.
you. Yeah. One other thing that I think is pretty cool that I'm looking forward to this weekend. So Julian and I went to Punta Cana last summer, and we just met like some people there, whatever. It was actually mainly this family. So it was a husband and wife, their 2 kids, and their spouses that we just hung out with them like every day we were there. Well, the one couple lives in Chicago, and we talked like when we were there, we're like, oh, we're going to have to visit each other. Like, not really
Are you
knowing
playing the
that it
game
was
things
going to,
Rachel would never say?
not thinking that it would like ever really happen. But they reached out to us a couple months ago. They're like, hey, the Cubs are coming to like PNC Park Mother's Day weekend. What do you guys think about us coming to visit? And
Wow.
we've been planning it. So they're coming Friday, and
That's
we're going to.
cool. Now, are they
spend
staying in a hotel?
They asked for our address so they could find a hotel nearby.
Okay.
But then I was like, I mean, we have a spare room, so I think they're staying with us.
With the kids, without the kids.
They don't have kids. This is
Oh.
the
Oh,
so
okay.
it was a adults only resort for sure.
Gotcha.
So
Well, you said the kids, but the kids were grown adults.
yes, married.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you
gotcha.
did put in married, which would
Yeah.
connote that.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
That will be fun.
That is
It's
exciting.
it's like interesting.
How old
It's
are they?
Different. I don't know.
She doesn't.
Give me a
She
decade.
doesn't
No.
Are
see
they
age
20s,
clearly.
30s?
Probably late 20s.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
How exciting.
Are you going to go
Scary.
to PNC Park?
Yeah.
gonna go with
So
them?
I think
It's such a beautiful
Friday
park.
night, I think like the incline isn't like, oh, I have to ride the incline. But I feel like when you have somebody that's never
Yeah,
been
For
to
Right.
sure.
a
At
Absolutely.
Mount Washington.
People
Incline.
love that. They
Wait,
eat
So-
when
that
are you
up.
going to a park game?
Saturday.
Do you have tickets?
Yes.
Okay.
Because new
you-
pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, Paul
gosh,
Skeens.
perfect night to be there now.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because what?
New
They're
pi-
bringing up
Paul
new-
Skeens,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't hear
top
what you said.
prospect
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In baseball.
MLB. Yeah.
I wouldn't have known. Julian told me, so I
Can't
bought
wait
the
till we trade
tickets.
him away.
Oh, there we go.
Wah, wah. Thanks, Eeyore.
Hey.
Negative sports people. I can't
I'm
be
repping.
friends with them.
Yeah, that's right.
But I can be friends with Ashley, Mary Lynn, and Breaking 90, who are the head of the table here. And you too can be at the head of the table by going to lunchtimeinroom.com and not only becoming a subscriber, but choosing to become a paid subscriber. We greatly appreciate that. That helps us buy equipment and do things like that. So please, if you want to sit at the head of the table with them and get all the perks that we haven't figured out yet, we would love for you to do that. So tonight, we've been going over the last several weeks, we've been talking about critical communication, destructive patterns that people have.
Yep.
And it's been a little doomy, a little gloomy.
It's been
in a lot of
pretty
ways.
heavy.
A little heavy, maybe.
I
is the
got
way to
some
look at it.
feedback today though,
Yeah.
from somebody. I'm not going to drop names because I don't
Right.
want to blow up his spot, but just he was really encouraged and kind of
Hit a nerve.
yeah. But what's the convicted from hearing some of it. So I'm glad to. I
Making
love
it-
to hear feedback. So
Making an impact.
it was
We always
awesome.
want feedback.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was just great to hear that, and he really appreciated it.
Yeah. So I was talking about what we could do, and I was thinking of what are deal breakers in a relationship. Now, if we just sit here and talk about like real deal breakers, like, they slept with my wife, like, yeah, okay. It gets a little bit heavy.
Right.
Right.
So I put it out on Facebook, and we got a bunch of responses, and there's 3 categories: serious,
Yep.
which we want to come alongside people;
Sure.
petty, which where the humor starts; and then judgmental, where I'm still going to be friends with you, but I'm judging it.
Yeah.
And I'll probably let you know it as well.
Yeah.
So we are going to go through those now at the table. We're going to agree, disagree. Do we agree with these? Do they apply to us? And then, but again, we're going to move quickly through the serious,
Yeah, because serious is like duh.
except when we don't agree.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I'm anxious to hear that then because I didn't. Okay.
You didn't see any where you were
Well, I
like-
mean, like the serious ones, like well, we'll get into it, but like the
Okay.
obvious ones.
So number 1, people who are mean to pets or dislike animals.
Okay. So, I mean, it's I know people that dislike animals.
Sure.
Like
and-
don't want to have pets.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mean
it's
to
not a
pets,
deal
that's a
breaker.
slam dunk.
Mean to pets. That's not good.
Number 2, people who are mean to servers or wait staff or anyone that
Dental hygienists.
Well, and with my need of acceptance, like if somebody's mean to a server, that would really like.
you would pucker.
I would die inside.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if they're a crappy server?
Well,
Yeah.
you're still
Yeah,
not
you still
mean.
can't
You're
be
still not
mean.
mean to
Yeah.
them. Like you can handle that situation differently than being mean to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You still tip them at least 15%.
That
10.
falls into the category.
Ooh. But that starts to make you look bad. To me, it's always 15. 15, like you suck.
It's always
I've
been.
done
I give
10.
you
I will
15.
admit, I've done 10
It's
if it's
always
like
been-
really annoying or really,
Well, historically, let's talk about this for a second. Historically, when and I'm talking about, I don't know when it changed, but historically it's been 10, 15, or 20.
Ugh,
Those have been the three.
not my lifetime.
Am I right?
that's,
Yeah.
yes.
Like when you see the options, like that's now they like start at 20.
Oh, they start at 50.
and then it's 20. Yeah.
But
they
only at
start at
Starbucks.
20, then it's 22 and 25. And I'm like, ugh, 20. You know, like.
oh, we should.
I'm
have all-
really bad because I never tip at Starbucks.
Oh, you're not bad because you don't tip
No,
at Starbucks.
they're not like serving
Okay.
you. They're making you a drink
Yeah.
or heating
li-
something up in a microwave.
The lines have been really
Okay.
blurred
Yeah.
in recent years.
Right. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, John Christ has gone on for weeks of his podcast.
Yeah.
Talking about tipping and that we should do away with it and
Now,
everything else.
I will say if I frequent a place, because like oftentimes like for Christmas, I'm like, just give me Dunkin' Donuts gift cards because then I'll have like a bunch of money to get coffee, whatever. When it comes like to Christmas time, if I frequent that establishment, I'll toss in, some tip money, to do a little extra. But if they're just making you a drink,
and they're getting a full hourly wage.
Right.
yeah.
Like Joe makes, I think, $2.20 an hour at Mohan's.
Right, but he's a server and he's getting his tips.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wow,
But
yeah.
mean to servers, which is what this is
Right.
like.
It's even worse.
is-
That's not being
is
a bad
like
tipper.
you're just
Right.
treating people like
That
they're
does
beneath
come
you.
later.
You know.
Yeah.
I think that comes later, being a bad tipper. But
We'll-
yeah, being
we'll revisit
mean,
that then.
Well, I mean, I'm going to have to add one. No, because it's racists. Now, ready? Here's my caveat. I am very cool and very nice to some old people who are pretty racist.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's kind of who they are. Like, they're not going to change. Like, are we friends? I don't know. I'm friendly to them.
Right.
So that's the only caveat with that
I feel
one.
like I'm different though because like I don't care if you're old. I don't care if times were different. I'm not gonna talk to you.
Get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Get over your
Well, then I got to fill you in some people that you
decades.
talk to. I'm just kidding. Self-centered, all about themselves, narcissists. Sure. And again, the caveat in all of this is, and maybe that's also mine with the racists. Like, is this somebody you are friends with versus somebody you're trying to love on behalf of Jesus Christ?
Right.
Right. There is definitely a distinction there. And
Yeah.
right.
Because all these people
And the
were
way I
trying
do that
to-
is by
yeah.
building relationships.
And there's
Right,
a lot of people
right.
that are all about themselves, but
Boof.
you can still.
I think this has to be more like
Peer to peer, friend to
yeah,
friend.
like
you're going to go to
people who
them
you're-
when you need
yes.
something.
Right.
Exactly.
Whether you ask them to move.
Well, because one of my things was like, somebody that would like, because, and yeah. One of my things that I used to do was I would be a classic one-upper. I would like always, one up,
Steal the story.
steal the story. And since I've learned emotional needs, I've learned to keep my mouth shut. And for a while there, like I really had to work on it. And now it's kind of like, it's just second nature now, which
Well,
is great.
it's not a deal breaker.
Well,
It goes into either petty or judgmental. I'm going to judge
no,
you.
I'm talking about me. But if I was dealing with somebody like this, self-centered and all about themselves, and they are like a one-upper, I'm not going to really pursue a relationship.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cut ties. If they're short fused, they're aggressive with you. No eggshells. No liars, betrayers,
Right.
homophobic, negative.
Ooh, negative. We just talked about that last week with the Eeyore situation where somebody's just constantly looking on that side.
Mm-hmm.
But last week's episode, we talked about here's how you change. Like here's how you're working with a person like that, or if that's you, then here's how. But in this, but it's hard, like for that person to be your go-to.
Oh.
Like how
It's
can
agonizing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not your go-to. Yeah.
Treats others poorly.
There it
fake
is, yeah.
people, fake Christians. Say it's funny. Well, no, I'm not gonna do that. Sexual predators. I think so.
I don't know.
No, I'm okay with it.
That's almost too far.
It was a joke.
Doesn't like family members. Like, oh, I hate your husband. I hate your, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. That's
That's toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
The next one, I think. we
well.
might-
What amazes me about that? Sorry, I don't
No,
want
it's
to
good.
move
No,
on.
we're supposed to expand.
What amazes me about that is like there are people that like still hang out with those friends that like hate their spouse or whatever. Like that'd be really hard to keep that going. You know? I don't know. Like, but
Unless you
I've-
also hate your spouse, and then
But what if their spouse is one of these things on here?
Well, let's say
and
they're
that's
not.
why
Let's
you
say
don't
they're
like
not.
them?
You know, let's
Yeah.
say they're not, and you know, you're with that person because you love them and whatnot, and you see them differently. But like, I don't know. That would be very difficult.
You also have a high need for belonging and acceptance.
This is true.
So, addicts / heavy drinkers is what somebody else put. There are a few on addicts. Because you go like heavy drinkers, you're like, I don't know, sometimes they're fun. What do you mean by heavy drinker?
Angry heavy drinker,
Right,
or really fun,
fun
heavy drinker.
but if you're in and that's different if you're friends, but if you're in a live-in relationship marriage with somebody who's
Well, if you've got a
Just like
best
a-
friend and everything you do it has to be partying, gets old.
sure that
Yeah.
yeah absolutely.
Yeah,
Fair weather friends, quick to bail type people. Yeah, they're hard to be friends with.
yeah,
Yeah, you
'Cause
can't. They
I
just
guess-
leave. They keep bailing.
yeah. 'Cause I don't want to be friends with you. I guess I don't know.
Foul mouth people, really foul mouth.
Really foul.
I just thought for the fair weather friends, quick to bail. Maybe you're one of the other categories.
Yeah.
Or it could have been right after like judgmental people. You know, it's like you judge them, so they leave you.
Yeah.
And lastly,
Well, foul mouth
No,
people.
that's true. I'm sorry. Yeah, we got to expand on that too because, and we talked about this. I don't know, maybe a couple months ago on an episode, it came up about like self-centered or narcissist in like our past, like, and we've had one or two people like Amy and I'm talking about like friends that just like, okay, we can't be friends anymore because it's just too much about you and too much of you getting angry at us because it's not enough about you and like things like that.
Sure.
And I wonder if like those people would look at us and say, "Oh, they were fair weather friends." You know? Like that, yeah.
Yeah. But the foul mouth people, it's not a deal breaker.
right.
I mean, Jay's here.
Well, one of the people, you know, Jay, you had us make a string and put 5 knots of it, so we have like 5
Right.
people to think about. Just a reminder of people, you know. And one of those is one of my favorite people, and they're very foul mouthed.
Oh yeah, I know it is too. No, that's not for me. It's not at all.
Yeah.
Again, you know, like Christine, you said, I don't care how old they are as far as being racist. Boy, some of the oldest people, like they're the best swearers in the world. Like, you know, like some of the old
So much
timers who come work
experience
on your
putting in
house.
the right
and you're just like,
context.
yeah, you're like, man, that's like a symphony. Of like, there you go. Look, I like what you did there. Yeah, I never even used it that way before. Like that is something right there. But one of my favorite of the deal breakers, stupid and a control freak.
And a control.
If they were just a control freak, it's fine if they're good at it.
Right.
Yeah, but if they're stupid,
Like, listen, your control is just dumb. Try controlling me this way.
that's pretty
But
great.
like indignant, and I replied to them and I said indignant and wrong.
Yeah,
Like that's so hard to deal with.
that's true.
Opinionated and wrong.
What's our saying? When we
To be incorrected.
yeah, to be incorrect.
The only thing I hate worse than being corrected
terrible.
is being incorrected. Oh, I've forgotten about that for a while, as far as parenting things that I say,
Yeah.
because I'm stuck on. You left this for somebody else to clean up. Let me introduce you to somebody else, pointing at myself. But yeah, incorrected. So now let's have some fun.
Yes.
These are things, and we will name them. We didn't name any of the deal breakers because I think a lot of those are attached with some pretty heavy hurts. So we have a triple on ketchup. Ketchup's a hot button issue.
Let's talk about it.
So ketchup on steak,
Yeah, that's nope.
that was Stevie.
Yeah, well, that's
That's worse than A1 sauce.
I did it when I was like
Well, a
little.
child,
absolutely
being a child
worse than
doesn't.
A1.
I'm gonna blow up her spot a little bit. Amy does it sometimes. Not all the time.
so does
Like at
Lily,
home?
but you know.
I
Oh,
will
that's
still
an
be,
insult, bro.
I will still be friends with her, but I put that in number 5. I'm judging. Steak on ketchup on eggs.
I do ketchup on
I
eggs.
like that.
Scrambled eggs. I mean, it's not my favorite. I'd prefer like
I
some
don't
hot
do it-
sauce or
Hot
something.
sauce.
I
Sure.
don't do it all the time. It's more of like when I'm in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But
So-
like an egg sandwich, I feel like you can put ketchup on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would not. That's
No.
weird.
Okay.
And then that was.
Since we're being petty, I'm just saying that's weird.
And what's cool is that's Heather Wiederstein, who is Joe's first jujitsu teacher.
Oh, fun.
So she's gonna crack you if you put ketchup on things.
Yeah, eggs crack. Good point.
Well, and then did you say just other than Heinz?
Well, no, then Beth Rosanek said, if you use ketchup,
Other than Heinz. That's right in and of itself is a
I will say though, Berman's from Aldi,
not bad.
it tastes like Heinz.
well, most of them.
I wouldn't try it.
I've tried it, and
I'm still American, so I ain't trying. Hero's one of my favorite, and they're not even. It wasn't in the category of petty, but Gianna from the 9 a.m. now of Iowa.
Yeah,
People who don't use their turn signal
yeah,
can't be friends with them.
yeah. I get that one. I get it.
I was behind a vehicle on my way here that repeatedly just turned, and they were
Making
they happened
turns.
to be going my way.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh my gosh, I'm still behind this person. But they would just, I wouldn't have warning that I still had to be behind them
Yeah.
because all of a sudden they're just turning, and I'm like, oh, that's the way I'm
I
going.
could see Gianna like on the highway, and like somebody doesn't use their turn signal, and she passes them. Like, I'm never gonna be friends with you.
And such a sweet lady.
I know. That's what
But
makes
like
it.
that's the one.
That's what makes it great.
All right, let's go here though. What's
Okay.
worse?
Okay.
Because by the way, what's funny about doing this list?
Yeah.
Like on my way here, Rodi or Frankstown turning right onto Rodi.
Yeah.
Didn't use my turn signal. I was like, Gianna be mad. I'm already thinking about people. I should
No,
then-
there's certain spots though. Like that's clearly
Nobody's behind you.
Nobody's behind you. You're clearly on the
I have an
turning.
arrow.
Yeah.
I will
it's-
say this:
Yeah.
like, it's such a habit of mine. Like, I'll do it come out of my driveway.
See, here's the, see now we're going down another avenue.
Oh, put it on.
Yeah.
I hate the turn signal noise.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it.
So like if I'm at a stoplight, I wait till they start and I'm like,
Oh,
all
absolutely.
right, now I'll put it
Yeah.
on. But what's worse, doesn't use turn signal. Doesn't turn off turn signal after changing lanes.
How old are they?
You can't tell, you're behind them.
That's true.
There was here's another story about when I was on my way over here. I was trying to pull out of my driveway.
Just for the record, for everybody who's not a local, it's not far.
It's not far. I was pulling out of my driveway, and there was a car just coming down Idlewood.
60 miles an hour.
No, thankfully, sometimes that does happen. But there's no like turns. The way they were coming, there's no turns they were going to make, and yet their turn signal was on for as far
On a
away.
neighborhood street, mind
Yeah,
you.
and just they went past my driveway and kept on going. Turn signal on, turn signal on. I'm like,
We could do a whole thing on traffic.
Well, I like to play a little game when somebody has their turn signal on. I'm like, all right, when are they going to turn next? All right.
How long will it be?
You know, and then like, okay, do they have to make a left next? So,
and if
they
so,
have
will
their-
they just get
well,
it back to square?
And if they have their right turn signal on,
Yeah, does it just go back
then
to-
they will notice that they have to press down the lever twice as much.
Right.
Like, you know,
you want to watch them learn.
are they turning now? Nope. Are they turning now? Nope.
Next one, rapid fire text back instead of completing an entire thought in one message.
Oh, I
Oh,
do
like
that.
back-to-back
I am
texts.
guilty
I do
of
that,
this.
absolutely.
I'm guilty of this.
I
So
always do
I
that.
cannot be friends with
With whoever this is.
Corey.
Yeah.
Corey.
Corey Lima.
Sorry. Not friends.
Yeah, I definitely do that. Because I type like when I respond, Jay. When I
there it
respond,
is.
but I'll type. I'm just like typing my a stream of thoughts, and I hit send, and I'm like, oh, and I send
Right.
it again.
I'm,
Like
I'm
another
guilty
one.
of it.
You text very stream of consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
She also says
Sometimes.
calls after 10 p.m. for non-emergency. That ain't a problem for me.
That's fair.
I'm up for 4 more hours.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's a deal breaker. That's not a deal breaker.
Can't pronounce a name, her name,
Well, I guess it depends.
Correctly.
It depends on who's calling.
after a prolonged period of being corrected.
It's like 30 minutes.
What's great
No.
What's great about Corey?
No.
Corey is very much who she is. Like she's very eclectic and different.
I respect
and
it.
she worked at a auto dealership. She did like finance or something for an auto dealership. So can you just imagine, like, you know? And again, I mean, I know her as Corey because we went to high school together. But like maybe she's going by Corrine now.
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm looking at her name. I'm like, how
Like,
would you
right.
not say Corey?
But I can just
Yeah.
imagine, like, with all due respect, like douchebag, car salesman. Hey there, Corey, Karen, and then
right.
it's Corrine. All right, coronation, and as you can tell, check engine light remains on without checking.
Wait, so that means she gets into a car and somebody else's
guess.
check engine light is
Yeah.
on, and she's like, "Why
Would you not? Can't be friends with you.
Yeah.
It's a deal breaker. I don't have many deal breakers.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just read ahead. This next one, yeah,
Go.
this is me. Okay, people who say pumpkin
It
instead of
It hurts you when you say
pumpkin.
It. Yes, I'm with you. I am with you. There's only
Like
one.
pumpkin pie.
There's only one person in my life that I've ever accepted it. And it was my mother-in-law. She used to say
Aw.
pumpkin, and I'm like, there's a P in there. Like, there's another P.
Not N.
For those of you that this bothers,
Yeah, there's not exactly. There's not even an N. You're adding the N, taking away the M and the P.
That's true.
He's so angry.
And then
I'm even angry now because I didn't even register.
but what if Chris or Eric's taking the mantle away from Chris here?
Sorry.
Fair. No,
It
fair.
hit a nerve.
He's turning
wish,
red.
I wish Chris actually doesn't even care about this, but did it just to trigger or gaslight. But what if, let's just go with big guy.
Yeah, big guy. General big guy.
You know, he comes over and he sees Maggie and he goes, "Oh, there's a little pumpkin." What about as a name?
As a nickname.
As a term of endearment.
Yes.
I'd take it. I would allow it.
I think I.
Somebody called you pumpkin?
If
I think
Bernice,
that's a weird nickname anyways.
if Bernice called me pumpkin, I'd be like, yeah.
She could call me anything and I'd be like, oh.
I like how Lori Ann goes on to say, "I cannot be friends with you in the fall," and that's fair. 'Cause it
very
comes up-
seasonal.
Yeah,
Very seasonal.
very
So
seasonal.
this Sunday we should all say to her, "Hey, pumpkin," and then go, "Aha!"
See who she accepts it from.
But it's spring, so by definition,
That's right.
And for those of you who do not know Laurie Ann,
Sweetest lady.
sweetest lady in the
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
nicest lady in the world. And I want to go back since you brought up Bernice again. Joe and I, like I said, were over there Monday, and as we pulled up in front of her house, I said, "Joe, I want you to know, it is going to be exactly
Yeah.
as you would imagine it to be." And we pulled in her driveway. They share it with a neighbor, and I said, "Okay, which house is it?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know. The perfectly manicured, perfectly stained deck with the American flag and the Israeli flag in it. I think that might be the one." It's like, yep. And you go in, and like even the basement is spotless.
Yeah.
And it's just all cute and
Aw.
everything else. It's just exactly as you
She's
could
the
imagine
best.
it to be.
She is.
Here's the next one.
Oh, hilarious.
Hey, Christina, why don't you read this one?
I avoid people with kids, mostly because I don't like kids.
When I started to read that, I thought the second sentence was mostly because I don't have kids.
Nope.
Because
Nope,
sometimes if you
doesn't
don't
like
have
it.
kids, you don't hang out with,
Or
you
you've
know.
had some hurts. You maybe, you had trouble having kids.
Sure.
And so it's just, I can't be around kids.
Well, I relate to this a little bit
Right.
because when
You
I'm,
love your kid.
I love my kid, but when I'm in like a room full of like other people's kids,
they're the worst.
Other people's kids.
like
PK.
there's just no, I it's overwhelming to me.
I was fearful
yeah.
of having children just because I was so terrible
Well,
with
I
children.
had a family member once say to me, they're like, "I always thought you would make a great elementary school teacher," and I was like, "Wow, you have no idea."
How many kids I would smack.
Did you say to them, based on what?
It made no sense to me.
Well, that's Stevie. And if you know Stevie, it makes sense.
Love Stevie.
Love Stevie, but it makes sense.
But if you were a kid, she would not love you.
No, she loves Maggie.
Yes. Someone that suggests we chop the pot when at the final table in a Texas Hold'em tournament.
Oh boy, that's very specific.
It's very specific.
It is, and I get it.
It's my boy Dan.
That's a deep hurt.
Dan Leopold.
Dan Leopold,
Well,
yeah.
And you have to understand, for those who've sat at the table, you've had many different contributions from Dan over the years.
I love Dan,
Dan
yeah.
is a very specific person.
Yeah. Well, and I'm curious. So let's say he's in the situation, it comes down to the final two, and his opponent says, "Let's chop the pot." And obviously, he's not going to do that. I wonder if it plays it out, if he loses, would he
Wish he had.
wish he had chopped the pot?
You already know the answer to this.
I was going to say, out of like he's that
For those
guy.
who don't know, chop the pot is, hey, let's just split the difference.
Right.
Nobody's winning, nobody's losing. We tie.
We walk away with money.
Right.
Right.
Dan would go into a final table, let's say, with a 20-1 chip deficit. Mm-hmm. Do the math however you want.
Right.
He wouldn't chop the pot.
Yeah.
He in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Love that.
Doesn't tip or poor tipper.
Here we go.
That's we briefed on it
Right,
earlier.
right,
It's not a
right.
deal breaker. Now it's in is it petty or is it a deal breaker? I don't know. I mean, this might be in the bottom category. I'll judge you.
Yeah. I mean, I always tip. Like, I always tip. Even if I get poor service.
What do you mean by that?
I always tip.
Okay, good.
Even if it's poor service. But, like, I guess my threshold is a little lower than others.
So,
Well, how about wealthy people that don't tip? That drives me crazy.
oh well, okay. I was just going to mention.
That's why they're wealthy.
Serena here would not like Rachel's dad from Friends when he took Ross and Rachel out to dinner, and and then Ross had to try to cover and like
Right.
add some, and then he got mad because Ross was trying to help with the tip.
Yeah.
Got to be a good tipper.
Hey, I've gone out to dinner with somebody who bought dinner for 3 of us, wasn't? Or no, maybe it was 4. It was 4 of us. Well, his girlfriend, and then myself and my friend. And he goes, "Just leave $20 each for your tip." Well, my dinner would have been like 25.
Yeah.
Well, so now he looks like a big tipper.
Yeah.
But all he did was front me $5.
Right.
That bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess, like, to me, like I mentioned earlier, like, it's always been 10, 15, 20. And then, okay.
Now
that's
it's
just
20, 22, 25, or
right.
28.
But my point is like, it's a percentage. It's not like so that goes up with the price of food.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't see myself as like being any more cheap than in the past. You know what I mean? Since I've seen like the average tip recommendation that you see on the iPad has gone up over time.
I'm not really sure what you meant by that, but for me, so if your bill's $10, you just go get breakfast.
Yeah.
But they served you, Eaton Park. Sorry. I mean, are you leaving less than a $5 tip?
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's a fair question. On a cheap bill,
On a
Sure.
cheap bill
are you like paying a $2 tip on a $10 bill?
with good service.
Sure, whatever.
With good service,
With,
I'll leave.
with fine service. Doesn't have to be good.
Okay,
You
I'll
didn't notice
leave.
them.
I'll leave a 5 spot.
Gotta
Yeah.
leave a 5 spot.
If it's bad, then I'm leaving 2 or 3.
Here's how strange I guess I am. I don't know. I don't. I go $4. I don't
That
know
is
why I go
strange.
$4.
But I feel like
good-
that's still generous for the amount of
Right.
the bill.
For me,
absolutely.
if you're serving me and you're working for 45 minutes on me to an hour, you know.
Okay, well that's another factor.
That's another thing,
Are you
yeah.
sitting there for a while? Like, yeah, you
Well,
got.
but I mean, a breakfast is going to be 45
you got
minutes.
3 refills.
Not necessarily.
you
Maybe
got-
maybe you're just getting like a Danish and a donut. Not you, but if you're there and they're refilling your coffee for an hour and a half because you're there talking, yeah, I'm gonna tip you big.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do another whole episode on tip.
I think we just did one.
Quick question: if your bill is like $5.80, do you tip the $2.20 to make it even?
I used to even out a lot.
Yeah.
If my bill was $5.80, I would probably round up to 10. I'd give like $4.20.
Yeah.
Borrow. Oh, that was Serena. Yeah, borrow with no return.
Oh, sure.
Would you stop a friendship over it?
Oh, no.
I would just tell
Well,
them
is it
to
a
return
car or is it like a hammer? Like,
It's Tupperware. If Jay's Tupperware at my house.
Because being these are petty, this is I can't be friends with you.
yeah.
I mean, I think we judge most people on this list.
I think I would judge.
Oh, it's
yeah,
petty.
yeah.
I see. Yeah, it's
But
petty.
A lot
still,
of it's
it means I
judgment.
can't be friends with you.
Yeah.
And I understand this is petty, but I'm not friends with you.
Right.
So these we should not necessarily. These are individual ones that people identify with. Doesn't appreciate my cat stories, Brenda Trumbo.
Says Brenda. I
Sorry,
love it.
Brenda.
But I did clarify with her. I said, "Can I appreciate your cat stories while not appreciating cats?" She said, "Yes."
Yeah,
Sure.
for sure. Yeah, I'd be in that boat too.
Yeah.
People who take things off my plate. As a warning, I stabbed the last person who tried with a fork. It was plastic, but they got the point.
The point.
I will say one of the things that like Amy has done And you know how like you'll eat a sandwich and you kind of have your method of eating a
Sure,
sandwich.
absolutely.
You know, you go around and like you'll bite around like the middle, and then you get that real good bite like in the middle with like everything's there. She'll be like, "Can I have a bite?" And like she'll take that bite that I've been working on, you know, the
no.
peninsula that I've been working on in the
Right.
sandwich. Like that's
She waits and swoops in for the perfect
and I don't
bite.
think she does it on purpose. She just, she just wants a bite.
She just
But
always does it.
I'm like, now I think I'm just gonna like take it from the outer edge, the part that I haven't worked on.
You should offer
yet.
it that way. You should like here.
And it'll produce for you 2 other peninsulas if she does that.
Ah, yeah.
Well, to this day, I remember Brian Smith in 8th grade, Bubba. I had the last little corner of the good old school high school ice cream sandwich.
No, you don't.
And I'm like this, and he went, whoop. Yeah.
The final bite, the
You're
steal
just
of the
waiting.
final bite.
The final bite of like something like
Oh,
that.
You're a psycho.
is-
You're a psycho if you take
they're-
that. Oh man, Sandwich Peninsula. I'm gonna trademark that one.
It's a good one. You should sell like only sandwich peninsulas.
Yeah, top of the muffin to you.
Are you gonna bite them all into a peninsula for the customers?
Well, yeah, you have to do it that way.
Because
gotta
you're
be
really
authentic.
sacrificing then if that's all you do, because you never get the
Because you
peninsula.
never get them.
But those who do will pay top dollar.
Absolutely, that's right.
And you missed a perfect Friends reference. Joey doesn't share food.
Oh, absolutely. No.
People use who use the excuse, I didn't text you back because I looked at it and I forgot.
Oh boy,
I've done that.
I have.
Oh,
done
so
that.
you have actually looked at it? I thought you just never look at your phone.
No, it's usually that.
Oh, okay.
But there have been times where I'm like, but it's like if I'm gonna run out of the house or something, I'm like, oh, I see somebody texted me, but I gotta go right now, and I'll do it when I get back or when I get to
Right.
wherever I'm headed, and then I'll forget for a while.
Oftentimes it'll be like somebody will text me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
Those
Dude, it was
peninsulas.
so in the back.
Yeah, it was. It just came up.
People who burp during podcasts.
Because this has literally happened where somebody will text me, I'll see it, and I'm like going to reply, but then Amy will text me, and like that
Right.
one comes to like
Takes
I'm
precedence.
Like, I gotta,
Yeah.
You didn't hit
and
send.
then, or I just didn't get a chance. Like I didn't reply yet at all, and then I reply to Amy, and then we're in a little bit of a conversation. Then I forget about the other one. No offense to them, it's just that's the way.
Well, Kayla Diaz, who's a friend of Rachel and mine from North Hills.
Oh, she's apparently perfect.
She goes on. Why? Oh,
Because she says, I got 3 kids and work 3 jobs, and I've never forgotten to text anyone back.
Ever.
Okay, Kayla. All right.
I'm either important to you or not.
We should all text her right now.
And immediately it comes back. Hey, what's up? My kid's in the hospital. The other one's at volleyball practice, and the last one just graduated.
Oh gosh.
But I wanted to make sure I got back to you. Like, she's good. She's good, this one. And people who aren't happy to get an annoying amount of reels on social media during the day because I'm going to send them. That bothers her as well.
I just don't watch them.
Oh,
I
yeah.
get a lot from like
I
Julian
get a
or
lot, and
other
then I
people,
usually
and I
catch up
don't.
at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
kind of like one of my nightly routines is to go to the ones that I receive.
But if
during the
somebody
day.
sends me like 20 TikToks, like
sure.
sometimes I want to just watch my own TikToks first.
yeah, that's
So
a
it's
lot.
like-
That's a lot.
I'm going to go out on a peninsula and say that Kayla and I are very different people.
Yeah.
You and her can.
She
not
has
be friends.
almost no chipmunks in her house.
That was a good callback. That was a good
We
callback.
could do almost another entire episode on real sharing etiquette / tastes. Like Uncle Rick. Uncle Rick will send me 2 to 3 every 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
And then I will reply because I'm a good friend. Okay, 2 or 3. Never reply to the reply. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Why do you just keep sending me stuff?
Yeah.
And if I send him something, I might get like 1 word back, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I have a friend who will send me stuff, frequently, and I'll acknowledge it. I'll make a comment. Nothing. I'll send him something.
No response.
No response. No acknowledgement. It's not you, Chris.
I was just realizing as you said that, I'm like, you shared something. You shared a clip with me last night.
Well, that's kind of expected from you. Did you watch it?
I have not yet. I didn't see it until this morning when I was at school.
It's no
This is
surprise to me. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Well, you know, it's funny. I sent that to you last night before we departed from Jace.
Listen, my lack of response is just, that's how I show affection.
Oh, okay. Then you really love all of us. Yeah. All right. Now, I'm going to be friends with you, but I'm going to judge you. The first one, they support politicians that I don't care for. I will say anybody overtly political, boy, I really got to bite my tongue. I don't care who it is.
Well, I'm surprised that didn't come up either in like the first group or.
Wait, can you explain this category,
Yeah.
this last, again?
I'll be friends with you.
But I'm
going to judge you.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm going to talk behind your back.
Depends what kind of hate they're spreading. Because
Well,
like
I
if
didn't
it's
read
like
it
at the
that way.
beginning.
I
where
didn't read
was
it that
like-
way. I just lumped
Okay.
it in with
Yeah.
politicians, people that are overtly political.
Yeah.
About
Okay.
it's their identity.
Identity is, yes, that's difficult.
That is difficult.
Yeah. Serena comes in strong. Don't like cats.
Absolutely.
Don't like cats.
I judge
So if you don't like, yeah, you can judge me all you want. Doesn't like pasta.
Yeah, I mean,
what's wrong?
who
I
are
judge you.
Yeah,
I like pasta. I just can't eat pasta.
I'm also
Right, well,
I'm not a
that's fair.
huge pasta eater.
All right.
I judge you.
Huh, 2 Italians at the table, not pasta eaters.
Chewing with your mouth open.
Oh, that is bad.
I'm with you on that, babes. That's just.
Wait, what is this next one?
Okay,
I
this
don't know.
One, it's a big. People talk about this all the
See,
time.
that's why Christina is here.
yeah.
Tell
Because
us.
Serena is about.
Read it and tell
Serena
us.
is probably 10 years older than you.
Okay,
Maybe
Okay, yeah.
7 years
Yeah,
older
you
than
read this one, Christina.
so you don't wash your legs.
I love it.
A
The
lot-
three of us are like.
I mean, I wash my legs, so
Right.
So
I'm not-
there's like stuff on social media that people are like, you don't wash your legs, because there's a lot of people that don't like in the shower wash their legs. And I will be completely honest, I don't always wash my legs.
Well, don't tell Serena.
well, you got all the soapy
Like-
water kind
So you're
of.
From,
going with the
like-
residue.
Yeah.
like
you're going
my
with,
hair, like you know how many suds there are there that
No.
like if I shave my legs.
I would like to
yeah.
be very clear. I know nothing of Christina's showering habits, so no, I don't know.
And
So
I
wait.
don't have hair.
I really want to get the logic
can't
of this.
relate.
So it's
but
just
you're
the
saying
soap's
so
running
because
down.
you suds up your hair, whatever, and so it
The
runs
dirty
down.
soap comes down and
dirty
magically
soap.
I
cleans her
don't
legs.
scrub my legs.
Okay.
Well, scrub is a strong word.
Like if I'm shaving my legs, I put soap on them and shave them.
Okay, so once a month
But,
you
like-
have.
She got
No,
some
but
hairy legs. over
People
there.
judge real hard about this. Like I'm probably gonna get judged
Well,
so,
so it
hard
is a
for
thing.
saying
Okay,
that I
it's a thing.
don't always wash
I
my
actually
legs.
don't judge you.
No, because we could have said the same thing. Like for me, I completely identify with that in regards to feet. That is a thing. Do people
Yeah.
wash their feet?
So-
'Cause
it's
my
the
point
same
is-
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Oh,
Sometimes it's scary.
Well,
Well,
there's
you
just-
might fall.
There's a spot on my back that has never been touched.
that's right.
Oh no.
I use a scrubby on like a
Listen,
stick.
Sure,
that's
you
what
could
I do
do
too.
that. You could do
guys,
that.
No, you gotta no.
Oh,
But like,
I'm judging everyone else
Mr.
right now.
Text back over here is going to talk about
Mr. Wash
Let me
back.
tell you, when I text back, I'm all clean.
the reason why you don't. The reason why you don't text back is you're cleaning between every toe with your toothbrush in the shower.
oh my gosh.
People that use the same toothbrush on their toes and their teeth.
We call those Davidsons. But that was actually one of my inventions that I never invented. Was like a suction cup base scrubby for your feet.
They make that.
I know,
Oh.
but
was gonna
I
say-
thought of it 25 years ago.
Kind of like the shoe cleaner before you go
At
into
a golf
like,
or a golf course.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
And I thought of that, and I even had the infomercial. I think we talked about this on the podcast. once.
I've never heard of this, but I've probably
The
forgot. if I did.
infomercial would be like, "Don't you hate it when you're cleaning your feet?" And then like a guy just goes flying out of the shower, and the curtain comes down. Whoa, there's no way. Sometimes you just don't even clean them.
Camera goes into the hospital. Guys in like
Yeah.
a full body cast.
Yeah, absolutely. But then when they finally made it, I saw it like on clearance at CVS, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it wasn't a great idea." They didn't do the commercial.
It's actually a good. I think it's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
It does sound
And
good.
just a little squirt from up top, and then a little brush.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
I'm down with it.
Yep, didn't happen. I'm going to hold off on my other two inventions, one of which has been invented, the other has not. The one is drop down volleyball standards from a ceiling, like they bring down hoops.
Oh,
They
yeah,
don't
yeah.
walk out with a basketball hoop and stick them in the gym.
Sure,
Oh.
sure.
That's a good idea.
It exists, and yet I've never been in a gym with them, so clearly not a hot item. Don't wash your legs. We've learned something tonight, boys.
Yes.
And we've learned something
That's
about
my big takeaway.
Learned something about Christina.
Don't
You
smell my
bring your own
legs.
silverware to restaurants.
That's
Serena knows
Woof.
some OCD germaphobes.
Wow. I've never witnessed anybody do that.
That might be a deal breaker for me.
I mean, I've
that's-
witnessed
I'd be
people.
like,
That's a
what
lot.
are you doing?
Right. I've
You
witnessed
take it
people-
home? Dirty?
right? Yeah, I don't know.
oh yeah, good point.
Or I guess you
That's
wrap it.
worse.
You could wrap it in a napkin.
Yeah.
Take it home.
What if they have cloth napkins?
Then you just
Go
steal-
get some toilet paper,
steal-
probably. and,
Steal a
yeah,
cloth napkin. I don't know.
something else gross.
Talking on speaker on FaceTime.
Oh, I
Yes.
hate this.
This is like, let's put this up in number one.
Look at
Up
Do you
in
do
number
this?
one.
I definitely
This
do
goes-
that.
around other people?
This goes in the
Yeah.
serious category.
Absolutely.
I
Oh,
I can't
no.
be friends. Like,
stand it.
Rate Christina's
can't
last
stand
time
it.
on the podcast.
now listen,
no.
it's not that I can't be friends with you. I could not be friends with you in a situation where you are doing that and I was with you.
Okay.
Like, because I'd be too embarrassed. You do you. If you're not embarrassed by it, go ahead. But there's it happens all the time,
I
obviously in public. But
judge
what
you
are
heavily.
you doing?
No. So, like, if I'm at the store, there's a lot of times that I want to call my mom and show her something like, hey, should I get this for the boys, like my nephews? And I have to show her. So, am I just supposed to, like, send her a
Okay.
picture and call?
No,
Yes.
wait a minute.
No, send a picture and
Send
wait
a
for a
picture.
text.
Yeah, send a picture and wait for a text.
It's
That-
not fast enough.
Okay. But is it like a quick 1 minute conversation, or are you just making your way
yeah.
up
There's
and
a
down the
difference.
aisle, having a conversation? 'Cause-
Sometimes I stay on the phone for a
yeah, I
while.
can't. No.
Or if, like, my
Judge,
nephew
judge,
calls
judge,
me
judge, 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 judge,
when
judge,
I'm in the
judge.
store, I'm going to answer. If Tanner
You
calls.
can answer, but not on
speaker.
Oh, it's always FaceTime.
Oh gosh.
I don't know. No.
I've never
No.
FaceTimed anybody.
Yeah, I've never FaceTime.
You don't have an iPhone.
The only time I've ever
I can
FaceTime.
still do it with
we still
different
have
apps.
we have other things.
Now my
Oh,
brain.
that's good reason.
My
No, but
brain's-
the only time I FaceTime is if like I'm away from home and it's like bedtime and I'm saying goodnight to the girls. You know, like
Yeah.
My brain's trying to work through this.
I get it.
And
Yeah.
and there is an argument for
Annoying
well,
people
if that person was
being self-righteous,
no, listen. If that person
imposing
was,
your relationship on others.
Not texting back.
no,
Oh, she took the pressure off her and put it
that's
back on Chris.
amazing. That's amazing.
Go ahead, Chip.
No, if that person were with them in the store, they would be having a conversation out loud back and forth.
Exactly.
So, but for some reason,
Not as loud.
some people have that
I
speaker
mean, I don't
turned
scream.
up.
I still don't like it.
Hey, I'll go a step further. If I see you even just walking by yourself, and this is terrible for people who are listening, but talking to somebody like this, like when they talk like this, but they don't have it up here, they have it on speaker, and they're talking to the bottom of their phone.
yeah.
Judge, 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 judge. Oh, gosh. Corey McGowan, dog food in the fridge. If you keep your dog food in the fridge, she judges.
Doesn't some need to be in the fridge?
My brother's
Yeah, I'm
dog
okay with
food
that.
is freezer food. Like, it
Yeah.
has to be in
Bring
the
it up
freezer.
with Corey.
Maybe she means if there's like just a dry bag of IAM's food and people
Yeah, that's weird.
shove it in the fridge.
Yeah, that is
that?
that's definitely weird.
It doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
It
Dan
probably
Leopold.
smells.
Dan Leopold Part 2. Haven't seen any Star Wars.
He's going to judge me.
Oh, Christina, I'm learning so much about you tonight.
And I want to add one of mine before we do the last one.
Okay.
And it has to be overt.
Okay.
Back to the restaurants. Calling the server by their name.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
I'll do that.
Wait, say it one more time.
Hey, Sally, could you come on over here a second again when you call the waitress or the server by their name?
I've never done it, but I have pondered if I would do it because most waiters
Unless
or
you know them.
waitresses.
Unless you know them. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
well, fair.
Yeah.
But most,
Server.
most people introduce themselves when they come to the table. Though,
Yeah,
you
still.
know, they're like, "Oh, hi, I'm Molly. I'll be serving you this
Yeah.
evening."
I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I've never done it, but
Yeah. It just feels so. I don't know.
You don't know
weird.
me?
Yeah.
And
I
it-
introduce myself to my patients, but, like, they don't call me by my name.
Right. Do we have any others that we would judge that you guys want to add?
Man,
Steak well done. We didn't do that one, but yeah, if you order your food well done.
yeah, well done is not.
That's actually why my dad used to, like, it was just a thing. Like, I guess he liked it well done, or else he didn't know any other way to cook it. When I was little, he'd always cook steak well done. And so I'd eat it with A1 because at least that was like...
Right. You get some moisture back in there.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a generational thing in some cases because, like, Amy's
back in the
parents
day,
were-
you were afraid of getting
right.
sick.
That's what I
and all that
mean. Like,
stuff.
because like Amy's parents are like like that, like always well done when we go. to
So Joe
steakhouse.
works at Mohan's, which is the local Penn Hills restaurant.
Yep.
When they order a steak, the options on the iPad that Joe has to send to the kitchen is rare, medium, well, burnt. There is no
There's
well
no
done.
well done.
Just burnt.
I respect that.
Jerky.
Because that's what it is. It's
Jerky,
burnt.
yeah.
Any other ones you guys want to add?
I don't think so. These are all so
We
fun.
went deep today. A little
Yeah.
bit long.
Oh yeah.
You got to read this last
wow,
one.
yeah,
though.
we did
What
go
is
long.
what is this?
Good old Becky Finoletto. People who plant more than one zucchini plant, but then let them grow too big, get too long, rock hard, and all you can do is make crappy zucchini muffins and tries to pawn them off on other people.
I appreciate you explaining that one.
Yes, that is
Because she just said, like, plant a zucchini
No,
plant.
she wrote all that. I just
Oh,
remembered
you
it.
were...
Well,
I see.
And like the
Okay.
thing is up here, I mean, zucchini just grows.
Right.
Like
You-
it's not
like her
hard
point
to
is
grow.
you need to plant one zucchini plant.
Yep, and cut 'em
pick
off
when
when
they're
they're ready.
soft. Don't
Yeah.
let them get all gigantic.
Okay.
You're a rookie. And
Yeah.
then you're like, hey, I got zucchini for you. You're like, no, you got me a baseball
You
bat.
got me. Yeah.
No,
It's like a gourd at that point.
Barney Bam Bam Rubble from Flintstones.
Yeah.
Nope.
Club.
Bat club.
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry, that was a cartoon. Cartoons used to be a thing before anime.
Anim.
Christina,
Also, no.
back when people would wash their legs and not talk like self-important prima donnas.
Out loud on their speakerphones in stores.
So much judging. I love it.
Judge.
I will
judge,
always
judge.
appreciate a zucchini.
Oh, good zucchini's great.
No, I feel like I've never like
Oh,
been
Never had
mad
a
at
bad
a
zucchini?
I guess I would know.
Becky, if you're
it was a
Well,
listening,
bad
are you
one.
doing?
Let
Are you
one
getting
grow.
store bought?
Let one
I mean,
grow.
I think they pick them at
No,
pretty
when
much
they
the right
get too
time.
big,
But
if you
like,
don't-
if somebody gives me one, I've never noticed that it wasn't.
How
good.
big it was it?
I don't know.
I'm saying they get to like this
Oh.
big.
They
Yeah,
get
maybe
huge.
not that.
And, like,
Harder than this
they'll get like
table.
this big around. Like they're enormous.
Oh, yeah. Probably
Yeah.
don't want that.
True.
True. You know what else is true? That's the end of episode 243. Join us next Wednesday live at 8:30-ish for episode 244. Between now and then, please give us a like or follow on social media and visit us at lunchtimeinrome.com. While there, take our relational needs questionnaire. Thanks as always for joining us at the table for Lunchtime in Rome.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.